Welcome back to class. We have spent the last few modules building the physical network and routing our data across the globe. Today, it's time to actually see the results of that work. We are diving into CompTIA A Core 1, Objective 3.1, Deconstructing the Modern Display. We are going to tear these screens apart, look at the panel technologies, understand the internal mechanics, and finally, master the metrics used to measure them. We begin with the absolute foundation of modern screens, the liquid crystal display, or LCD. An LCD uses a backlight shining through a layer of liquid crystals to create an image. For the A+ exam, you must understand how the three major panel types manipulate those crystals. We have IPS, where crystals rotate parallel to the surface, TN, where crystals twist to control light, and VA, where crystals align vertically and tilt. Let's look at IPS first, which stands for in-plane switching. This is the panel of choice for the digital creator. The major pros of an IPS panel are its superior true-to-life color accuracy and its ultra-wide viewing angles, meaning the colors don't wash out when you look at the screen from the side. The trade-off is that IPS panels typically have slower response times. Your ideal users here are graphic designers, photographers, and video editors. If you don't care about perfect color and just need pure speed, you want a TN or twisted pneumatic panel. TN panels deliver blazing fast response times and incredibly high refresh rates. When a competitive gamer needs split-second reflexes to dodge a Guardian's laser beam, they rely on a TN panel. The downside? Poor color reproduction and terrible viewing angles. Sitting between IPS and TN is the VA, or vertical alignment panel. VA panels offer deep, rich blacks and better contrast than TN, but suffer from slower response times and color shifting at extreme angles. Moving away from traditional LCDs, we have OLED, the organic light-emitting diode. OLED is a massive leap forward because it features self-emissive pixels. There is no backlight. Every single pixel generates its own light and can completely turn itself off. This gives you true absolute blacks, infinite contrast ratios, and high energy efficiency. However, you must be aware of burn-in. If a user leaves a static image, like a taskbar or a news ticker, on the screen for too long, it can leave a permanent ghost mark burned into the display. To combat OLED's burn-in risk while matching its contrast, manufacturers created Mini LED. This technology takes a traditional LCD panel but completely overhauls the backlight. It uses thousands of microscopic LEDs grouped into precise local dimming zones. This provides massive brightness, incredible contrast, and reduces the halo effect around bright objects on dark backgrounds, all with zero risk of burn-in. The cons? It is highly complex to manufacture, making it expensive, and it consumes more power than OLED. Now that we know our panel types, let's move to Act 2, Display Mechanics. It's time to peel back the glass and look at the functional hardware hidden inside the laptop lid. If a screen supports touch or stylus input, it has a digitizer. The digitizer is a thin, transparent physical layer fused right over the display panel that translates your physical taps and swipes into digital data. Here is a critical troubleshooting tip. If a user complains that their screen looks perfectly fine, but it has completely stopped responding to their touch, you have isolated the failure specifically to a broken digitizer, not the LCD panel itself. You also need to understand the power delivery, specifically the role of the inverter. Older legacy displays used CCFL, cold cathode fluorescent lamps, for their backlights. Because laptops run on DC power, but those old fluorescent bulbs required AC power, an inverter was required to convert the current. Modern displays use LED backlights. LEDs run natively on DC power, which completely eliminates the need for an inverter in modern machines. For Act 3, we look at the metrics. How do we objectively measure and compare display performance? We evaluate 4 key areas: resolution, PPI, refresh rate, and color gamut. First is screen resolution, which simply defines the total number of physical pixels displayed on the screen, measured as width times height. You need to memorize the standard milestones: Full HD is 1920 by 1080. Quad HD is 2560 by 1440. And 4K resolution is a massive 3840 by 2160 pixels. But resolution alone doesn't tell the whole story. You also need to look at pixel density, measured in pixels per inch, or PPI. A 4K smartphone and a 65-inch 4K television have the exact same number of pixels. However, packing those 8 million pixels into a 6-inch phone screen yields a dramatically higher pixel density, resulting in a much sharper image when viewed up close. To ensure smooth motion, we measure the refresh rate in hertz. The golden rule here is simple: higher rates equal smoother motion. A standard office monitor refreshes 60 times a second, while gaming panels hit 120 Hz, 144 Hz, or higher. Crucially, the display's refresh rate needs to synchronize with the video card's frame rate output, otherwise, the image will split and tear across the screen. Finally, we measure color. The color gamut defines the total spectrum of colors a display can accurately reproduce, using standards like sRGB, Adobe RGB, or DCI-P3. We also measure color depth. A 24-bit true color display can show 16.7 million distinct colors. If you step up to a 32-bit depth, it adds an alpha channel, which allows the system to render smooth transparencies and complex gradients. Let's wrap this up by applying it to the real world in the technician's toolkit. You will be coding these exact scenarios into your upcoming XP Boost interactive modules, so lock them in. If you are deploying a workstation for the designer, you must spec an IPS or OLED panel with 4K resolution and a wide DCI-P3 color gamut because they prioritize absolute accuracy. For the gamer, you deploy a TN or fast VA panel with a high refresh rate of 144 Hz or more because they prioritize speed and motion clarity. And for the executive, you provide a highly portable display featuring an integrated digitizer for seamless stylus and touchscreen interaction. Mastering these combinations ensures you can architect the perfect visual workspace. Great job today. Let's head to XP Boost for some hands-on simulations.